Podcast time. D.O.D.
In the earlier stages of your career when these kind of shows like really matter. And it was after that moment that I really feel like everything kind of changed. They will put an end to someone's career.
I think it's really hard to explain as an artist the relationship between artists and managers.
I'm lucky I've got a real solid team.
What would be your one bit of advice that you'd like to spread to the world?
Don't party too much. I'm just so thankful, man. I really am, because it's everything what I've wanted and more.
Dan, D.O.D, we're live. How are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. We always do this. It's like I always ask, "How are you?" But we literally just had like a 5-minute conversation about how are you before. I don't know why we have to ask again. It's a weird thing. How was the States? Where were you?
Yeah, it was amazing. I was in LA first. I did El Rey Theatre.
Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, it was great. It was a pure hard ticket venue. We made the decision to do that just to see if we could, basically, and it sold out nice. I think 5 weeks in advance.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man. And then from there, I went and played a frat show in this it was mental. It was in the courtyard of this fraternity, just in the middle of LA, and it was the loosest shit you've ever seen, man. These guys, they had these huge big CO2 bottles, but they didn't have anything connected to it. They were literally just turning the top and then spray it. I guess it's pretty dangerous, but it was wild. Stuff that was going on there was wild. I was kind of in out,
frat parties,
I've been there,
crazy.
I've done that, but and then straight we had an early flight to go East Coast, then to Atlantic City. I played at a club there. Sorry, this is really bad that I don't know this. What was the club called?
It's all right. Was it in a casino?
It was in a casino. Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic. Yeah. So we went from LA to the East Coast, flew into Philadelphia. So
that's
even that, it boggles me how big the States is, man. It just took us 5 hours to get over there. I'm still getting used to the amount of time spent traveling just to get to shows in the US.
It's long.
But both shows, 3 shows were really, really, really good. Really good.
It's nice doing a weekend of 3 shows.
Yeah.
I literally just came back. Obviously, when this comes out, it's not going to be in line with the dates. But I just came back from I did 1 show in the States. It took me 18 hours to get there on Saturday, and then literally play for an hour and a half, and then the next morning or the next lunchtime leave, and you're crazy.
Yeah. It's a lot, and it definitely takes its toll on your body as well. So it's one thing that I don't really think, because we don't document the traveling part. People don't understand just how intense the traveling is.
Well, it's because we also only document the fun shit, and the travel stuff is it would literally just be us watching YouTube or something, or making beats or something in the airport.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking boring, right?
Yeah, exactly. So do you live in the UK?
Now I do, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been finding, because I've been touring so much now in the US, I've been finding myself getting into a bit more of a rhythm with how I kind of work things, because going out, it's always UK work day.
Yeah.
I'm in kind of work mode, but then coming back, it's always the red eye flight. So I'll just sleep on the way home. So going out is always working, and then coming back is just purely just sleeping.
Do you like working on the planes?
I don't mind. I've had to really change things around because I'm touring so much now. I just love being in the studio making music, but that's not possible anymore. I can't just be in the studio like I had been doing previously. So I've got into the rhythm of, first of all, I was making remixes and bootlegs and stuff that I would play out, and then now I've got a little bit more confident with my ears really when traveling and making music and traveling. that I'm just bashing out the music when
That's great.
when I'm on the road now.
I used to do that when I was younger and touring. Like, well, I tour a lot now, but like, I guess my early touring days, I would do that, and I don't know why I stopped. There's something about like just, I don't know. I just way prefer being in the studio and writing.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And I feel like if I can plan my schedule well enough, I can like, okay, I can have at least a few days in the studio and just be just as effective.
Yeah.
And enjoy the process rather than like, unless there's like an edit I want to do, or like there's a record in my head that I'm like, oh, I really want to like finish that. And I know exactly what, but like, I think for me is like the writing side of it is more of a creative thing. And I just don't think a plane is creative at all, in my opinion.
No, I'm with you on that one, mate.
It's weird.
100%. It's. I think for me at the minute, it's more of like a necessity because, like, some of my biggest records have come from like me being in the studio when I didn't want to be in the studio.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a firm believer that if I wasn't in the studio on that day, I would have never made those records.
Agreed.
Like, those records would never exist.
Yeah.
But it's because I made the decision to be active and be in the studio on that day. And I'm trying to just get my head into that way of thinking, like when I'm on the road now, it's like, if you don't make music, you know, how you expect it to keep like progress. I mean, I'm not trying to put too much pressure on myself, but I'm just very aware of like,
it's so true though, because it's like you have to be in it to win it. And I know that sounds so fucking stupid, but like, I think it's like, you can't, once you've had one big record, you can't expect that like every record's going to be big.
No.
It's like, it took you, like, I went back onto your back catalog. 2012 was your first release on Spotify. And like, it took you that long. It took you 11 years to have like a big record. Like, if you know what I mean, like have that, like, and just because you've had a big record, it doesn't mean your next record's going to be big. It doesn't mean the record after. It doesn't mean you might go another 5 years without a big record. You've been very fortunate that you've had multiple big records in a like one after each other. But like, you have to still put the work in, and maybe more so. Maybe, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I as well. What I will say is that one big record, doesn't actually necessarily change too much. I remember when Still Sleepless was like a hit in the UK, I was like, fucking happy days. This is the moment I've been working for.
Yeah.
And it didn't really change anything for me. It was like gigs weren't coming in, and that's really kind of what I was expecting. I was like, hang on, this track is like A-list radio everywhere. You know, it's streaming really, really well. But it wasn't really changing anything with my profile.
Why do you think that is?
I think now it was funny because after when So Much in Love came out, and then that really started to connect. That was when I noticed the shift in like the change in profile, and it was it felt almost like overnight in a way. I remember I played Whereas Project. I was supporting Sonny Fodera, one of his headline shows. And it was after that moment that I really feel like everything kind of changed. But I think it's just consistency. That's all it is. Like one big record, unless it's like a global mega hit, I don't think is enough these days to warrant a solid touring profile globally where you can sell out shows worldwide, or like people actually want to spend money and buy tickets and come and see you at shows. So for me, I think it's consistent records that perform. Like not every record has been a hit, but they've kind of connected in a way that has allowed me to build this profile where people want to come and see me play shows and people are engaged in what I'm doing.
I think it's so important. Foundation building was pretty much what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I think it's I've always said this to people, is like, especially to new producers that are coming through and new DJs that are like, oh, I just need a hit record. I'm like, no, you need to release music. Like if you're not releasing music, if let's say for instance, you get 10 10 people that listen to your streams, and then you have no other records for people to listen to. They're going to listen to that one record, and then they're just going to be like, okay, well, I'm done now. I've listened to whoever this artist is. It's like you need multiple records at the same level of all your records. And if you've got 100 millionaire, you need another 100 millionaire, or if you've got 50 million, you need another 50 millionaire. And it's like, it's tough though, because how does that, after Still Sleepless, that was the first one that came out that kind of started making moves. Like, what was the pressure of what do we do next?
I don't really think it's funny because I never really felt like there's ever been pressure to think like what do I do next?
Yeah.
And I think that's because I've made my best records when I'm just making music for myself.
Yeah.
And when I try and chase something, that's when it never fucking works. It literally never works. And I've made my biggest records just from my taste of music, of me just being like, I like it, so I don't give a fuck if anybody else doesn't like it. Like, I'm just going to put it out. And yeah, for me, that's been the main driver, really.
Sorry, man, I got a horrible cough at the moment.
That's so good.
I wish I had a mute button for when I fucking cough.
Cough button.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, because I think realistically, if you haven't changed anything, obviously you evolve as an artist. But I think when I've spoke to people on here where they've just had like one record that's just gone absolutely bananas, and then they almost just try and replicate that over and over again, and it just doesn't work. And I think there's some times where it's just like, well, yeah, that doesn't work if you just copy your same record over and over again. But for some artists, it does, right?
Yeah.
Like, some people, that's all you want. That's all they want, is literally carbon copy of the same record over and over again. How do you get that like happy balance of like, you still want it, you still need it to sound like a D.O.D record, but it also has to still be slightly different?
Yeah, I mean, I have like templates that I work with in Logic, so like my drums will always be quite similar. You know, I'm not too asked about a clap. Like, a clap's a clap to me. Like, I know some producers,
you're gonna fucking destroy. Some producer gonna hate you.
I don't give a fuck, mate. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, if it sounds good in the mix, that's all I'm asked about. Like, I just want things to cut through nicely, and everything to feel balanced. I think a lot of my music is like, it's just a balanced kind of feeling to it. Obviously chords, the emotion that I get through with chords. I come from a clubbing background, so like, I'm trying to make music and give a feeling of like what I'd like to feel like back in the day when I was a
rager.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you're in your templates, do you literally have like the same loops, same kick drums? Like, is it literally that simple?
No, so it's samples loaded up. So samplers loaded up. So I've got like Contact.
Okay, interesting.
And then I've got all my my one shot samples. So I'll just be flicking through, and I've got a folder of my favorite stuff. But a lot of the time, I'm just using a 909 clap, a 909 hat, 909 crash. It's house music, for
all
me.
The fucking same, mate.
It's
fucking same. Like, on Splice, I'm like, how many fucking 909 kicks do I need? They're all the same.
I know. I'll still go through them all though.
Yeah, and it takes fucking days. I actually missed that though, because I did that for a long time, of like pretty much sonically like everything sounding very similar on like when it comes to like the same, like I literally would call it the Will snare, and it's like the same snare every single record. And I think that's actually how you, as a producer, you actually get your like signature sound. And I know that sounds super crazy, but I think like you go listen to who's popping off right now, even like Clooney, for example, or Pauser, right? Like, those records, they're really well produced to a certain extent, of like let's use Clooney for example, but each sound sonically is not that different. It's all very similar. Bass lines, similar sounds, kicks, drums, all pretty much the same sound. And I'm sure he'd like listen and be like, dude, come on, I spent hours on that kick drum. But like, I think that's a part of having a sound as an artist.
I think so. And I mean, as long as if you're getting creative with your synths and stuff like that, I feel like, you know, you can. I always think Tom Starr is a great example of this. Like, I listen to any record that Tom has made, for whether it's for himself or other people, and I know instantly that he's made it because he's just got this certain sound. And
it's so dangerous though when you write for other people.
Yeah, but I think it's, again, I think even like from a mix perspective as well. Like, it's the way you mix records. Like, I mix records completely different to how someone else would, and you know, like Tom for example, like he's just got a certain way of doing things.
Do you mix them yourself, or do you get somebody else?
No, I mix everything myself. Yeah, I used to master everything myself as well, but I have people mastering a pre-master for me. It takes me so fucking long to bounce out stems for them to do a mix down on to do a stem mix and master. It's like, what's the fucking point? I'm spending an extra day or a day and a half just getting the project ready to a certain point just so that someone can mix it. I'm like, it's not going to make so much of a difference to warrant me spending that amount of time on it.
Yeah, I got when I did the first album that I did last year, I got that mixed like by somebody else, but I was in the room with them when they were mixing it.
Yeah.
And like, it was an amazing process to be like in the room whilst mixing it. But fuck me, it's long.
Yeah.
It's so different when you're like mixing club records because it's very much on a vibe.
Yeah.
Like you're writing a record for a purpose, for a club. You know how it needs to sound. You know your room. You know like what it all sounds like in a club before you even take it to the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you use like plugins to help?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
Ozone, baby.
Ozone 9.
You're on the 9, mate. You should get the 11.
I've got the 11, and I don't think it sounds as good. The mix helper tool.
Yeah.
I don't think is as good as 9.
Really?
Yeah. That's my own. That's me listening to my own ears. Everyone is probably screaming at the. I'm going to scream at the screen right now. But yeah, it's just, I just prefer the 9.
Yeah.
I use Soothe. I mean, I do a lot of things on my master chain that people would fucking vomit at, to be honest. But
well, it's because we're DJs.
Yeah. If I'm mastering something myself, just to be able to play it out, like I'll stick a fucking sausage fattener on the end of my mix chain, you know. On my master chain, sorry.
That God particle. I've
got God particle as well. Gem dopamine.
What does that do? What does God particle do? It's fucking amazing.
I don't know. I don't know what it does, but anything that makes things sound louder.
We're such suckers for that.
I know, yeah. I know. Do you know what? I was thinking the other day, I actually got some, I got a promo through, and there's this one, I won't say who it is, but I get promos through from a certain like promo distributor. You know how you get your emails with tracks, and they always come through with half the volume of what other tracks come through as.
That's weird.
And I emailed the label and I said, look, like, you should probably sort that out, because when I'm listening to tracks, it's not giving the first listen a fair try in a way, because like, I'm automatically hearing it at half the volume of what I'm hearing other tracks at, and I'm not going to be like moving my volume up and down when I'm listening to promos. So volume is sucker for volume, mate.
Well, I think like the EDM days kind of got us for that, because it was like and the dubstep days, like when Skrillex started kind of turn dubstep into what dubstep is now. Like they went through the like loudness battles of just everything had to be so fucking squashed. Drum and bass guys are so good at it, like just unbelievably good at like just hard clipping. and you're just like, I don't have a fucking clue how you did that.
No.
Like, but then again, one of my mates, I won't say his name, I won't call him out, but he's a really good producer. He used to have a house project, but he moved to drum and bass, and his mix downs and masters are insane on his drum and bass records. And then he sent me a house record like a few months ago, and he processed it the way he would process his drum and bass records. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is this? You've made this record sound awful. Like, you've literally just like rinsed you've like squeezed every bit of authenticity and soul out of this record and turned it into like the highs sound really high, the lows sound really low, and there's nothing in the middle.
Between, yeah.
And he's like, I've just drum and bassed it. It's like, it's definitely a process for sure. Yeah. When did life change for you when the record started hitting?
Yeah, definitely.
Tell me about it.
I think it's because it's taken me so long. It's like 50 people. Obviously, people don't see the journey of it, especially because a lot of people discover my music now will just think I'm a new artist, you know. But I've been like grinding away for like 15 years now, professionally, and like all I ever wanted was to have a great global touring profile and have music that connects, and then it almost feels like it was kind of like overnight that it happened. It's like you work for so many years, and then all of a sudden it's just like, you know, I've got what I want in a way. Although you always want more, you know.
Why do you say in a way? Because I think I want to butt in before you answer that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a classic thing we all do. I don't think it's just in music. I think it's in life, right? We achieve something that we've always been working towards, and there's always something that's not quite right.
Yeah.
What is that for you?
Everything's good. Everything. I can't think of anything that like.
You did say though, in a way.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to get at there with that. Maybe there is something. Maybe I just need to think about it harder. But like everything, I've surpassed the point that I could ever even dream was achievable. And like, you know, so some of the things that have happened over the last 2 years, it was never on my cards to try and even get to that level. All I ever wanted to be was have like a good touring profile and DJ around the world, and it's surpassed that to like dizzy heights that I'm just so appreciative of where I am because of the journey. It's been so fucking long to get here, and you know, so many like really bad shows where there's no one there, and you play in after headline DJs and everybody leaves afterwards, and like, you know, you traveled for 2 days to get there, and you know, like real soul destroying stuff when, like, especially in the earlier stages of your career, when these kind of shows like really matter, you think like, oh, this is going to be great, I'm supporting this DJ, and then it ends up being shit, actually really shit and quite mentally tough to deal with. And then, you know, now stuff is at a point where I'm just so thankful, man. I really am, because it's everything what I've wanted and more. I'm just really trying to just keep focused and just keep doing what I'm doing, because that is what's got me to this point, is me just doing what I like to do, and not chasing anything, and just making music that I like. Now I'm fortunate enough to be able to pick the shows that I wanna play, shows that make sense for me, and not just thinking, oh well, I need the cash, so I'm just gonna take this show, when the reality of it, you know, might be that the show's not right for my sound, or it's not a good look for profile wise. Like I might be playing with artists that are not necessarily in the direction that where I eventually want to be. And it's nice to not have to make decisions based on financial needs, really.
At what point did that change for you?
Probably about a year ago.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how like even like a year ago, we're 2025 now, so 2024, you'd released a record that had done 100 million streams.
Yeah.
And you're still talking like you're like not worrying about finances. I'm sure finances changed after that, but like if you sold 166 million records, you're in a whole world of different levels of finances, whereas 166 million is like, well, it's still fucking insane.
Yeah, of course.
But like when you're in comparison to like that, you're like,
yeah. And again, it goes back to like being consistent and stuff. And it's like, I think things have to organically happen to get everything to a point where it's just like, I just feel like everything's just gone bang at once.
Yeah.
Especially out in the US, like it's hard to explain the feeling that I'm getting when I'm going out there and playing. Because like I used to play out there years ago when I was used to support DJs and stuff, but like these are just like headline shows, and like it feels wild at the minute.
It's different when you're doing headline shows because they're just there to see you.
Yeah.
And I always say this, that like even at and I don't know, it might be different for you, but I think for most of us, even like for me, when I do a headline show, I don't think they're all there for me. I think like a few, like probably 40% of them are there for you, and then the rest of them are just like they've dragged their mates along to come with
yeah.
Which is great. That's what I want. I don't want everyone there to know me. I'd rather no one know me and me win them over, so then we've got more fans.
Yeah.
But there is a difference of like doing support shows and then doing headline shows, and that feeling of if you've worked your whole life to like 15 years of working in a normal day job. If you started a business 15 years ago selling a product, like that business could be worth absolutely millions now, right?
Yeah.
Like if you put all the work that you put into in like a normal job, you could have built something huge.
Yeah.
And we do this. I was talking to Carlos from Factory 93 yesterday on the phone, and we were talking about this, and it's the weird thing with music and art is that if somebody took away the finances, we'd still wake up every morning and do it.
Yeah.
And that's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And but how is that feeling when it gets to the point when you're like, shit, we can sell out those shows and they're all there for you?
It's funny because I was speaking to my wife earlier about this, because I've literally just got back from the US from like I said, crazy weekend in the US, like back-to-back weekends as well. Because I was out in the US the week before, and like the only way I can describe it is that it's like it's not for me.
Yeah, like
it's like everything's just gotten to a point where like the lights will fade out, because these are like proper shows that I'm doing. Like it's like when they're doing these like headline hard ticket shows, and like the lights will go down and like everyone's chanting my name and stuff, and it's just like, that's not for me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the only way that I can describe it. And I don't know if it's anything I'll ever really get used to be honest. I certainly have gotten used to like every show being like fucking sick now. Like,
that's great.
Yeah, like I've noticed that recently, that like I'm turning up to shows and like the quality of the crowds are just really good. It's quite refreshing really, because I've just had, like I said, I mean, I know I keep going on about the same shit, but like I've done so many years of just playing such bad gigs. And I was doing it just because I was thought, oh, like, I need to try and raise my profile in this territory, or, so it's just nice, mate. It's really nice to be able to be in this position right now.
It's so dope to hear, because I think also I can get caught up with this where you can question, like, you can be like, oh, I need to do this in this territory, or I need to do that in this territory, or I need to do this here, and actually just forget that, like, no, you just need a fucking big record. Like, it's so simple that, like, oh, my socials aren't doing this, oh, this isn't doing that, oh, this isn't doing this, we should be doing this, we should be doing what that person's doing. It's like, no, you just need a big record.
The music is the driver for everything for me. I'm lucky. I've got a real solid team around me.
Big up Dan Stacey.
Dan Stacey, yeah, the whole of the Loving Alliance crew, Josh Neal, Josh Collins, like, these guys are the backbone of what I do, and my tour manager Wadey as well. Like, he's my best mate, turned into my tour manager, and like, these people are just propping everything up, and like allowing me to focus on the music, because that's the thing that is the driving force behind everything. And like, I do get quite stressed sometimes, because it's a lot, especially at this kind of level now. Like, I've got a wife, I've got 2 kids. Like, I'm trying to balance everything and like be the best dad I can be the best artist I can be, and and still have the quality of music that I've been making, notably over like the last maybe like 3-4 years. So it's a lot, and these guys take the pressure off me, and it's not always been like that. It's been, I've had a lot of years of going through the motions with different management, different booking agencies and stuff. And like, I used to always be like, oh, why am I not getting this gig? And, but now when I look back, it's just because I didn't have a profile. Like, I used to give these people shit, and I'd be like, come on, like, where's my gigs? It was just, I was so hungry for it. And, I'd had a tune that might have streamed like 6 million streams on Spotify, and I'm like, why am I not touring off the back of it? It's because it scratched the surface on things, and I'm so much wiser now than what I was then. Like, now I look back on things and I'm just like, fuck, like, you're a little dickhead.
Well, I hear that, but I also disagree, because I think 6 million streams seems a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it just goes to show how little it actually is in an industry that is based around numbers.
Yeah.
And we all know that, like, it's like when you get like 2,000 likes on your Instagram post, it doesn't mean that 2,000 people are going to buy tickets to see you.
No, does it? Fuck.
Like, if you've got 100,000 followers on Instagram, it doesn't mean 100,000 people are going to come and see you. Like, probably 1% of them might buy a ticket to see you.
Even that's
and I think it's like, just being able to be consistent at a high level is so hard nowadays, especially when everyone's on to the next thing the next day. Like, you release a record, if it doesn't do its thing, on to the next. And the level of being consistent is you have to be very consistent all the time. Have you felt, having a wife and 2 kids, do you think that helps you be consistent?
100%. Like, if all this success had happened, say like 10 years ago, when, I mean, I've always been with my wife Lauren since university, but if this success would have happened when I didn't have any kids, and like, I was still very much in that like party mode, like, everything would have gone to shit. 100% everything would have gone to shit, because I just love to party, and I don't do that anymore, because if I went and partied at the weekend, and then, it's taken me, say, till midweek to recover from it, and like I'd be coming home and like I wouldn't be present as a dad, and like there's just so many negatives to the short amount of time of like the good time that you're having when you're partying.
Yeah.
Like for me, it just leaves like a trail of destruction behind me.
Yeah.
Because I've like I said before, like I grew up like as a clubber, so I just used to love going out with my mates, going to Sankey's in Manchester, just getting absolutely off my box every weekend,
Yeah.
and like immersing myself in dance music, and like that's just what I love to do. And I'd say I've got a pretty addictive personality, to be honest. So I've always had to kind of keep things at bay, and really kind of be strong minded and just being like, just keep my eyes on the prize, which is just, trying to be the best artist possible in my career, but also, I'm not wasting any time. My kids are young and they'll never be this young again, and I'm not wasting any time. It's hard enough being on the road and being away from them as it is, so that when I do come back, like I just got back from traveled all night, and then as soon as I came back, like took my youngest son to the park, went and picked my eldest up from school, and then we built Lego together, and then we were drawing and stuff like that, and then put them to bed. But like if I would have been getting fucked up at the weekend, that stuff just doesn't happen. So definitely having a wife, having a kids keeps me really, really grounded. For me and my kind of personality and how much I used to love partying. Having a wife and kids is a real good thing for me.
Yeah, because I've seen it go two different ways. I've seen it's really focused people, like in a sense of like, okay, now I need to provide even more. So so their career just generally just like skyrockets. And I've seen completely the opposite, where they're like, fuck trying to be a DJ. Like I want to be at home with my family and do that. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a balance that I'm still trying to get used to with like, not taking on too much where I feel like I'm missing out on things at home, but also just like taking on enough so that I'm continuing this path of like going up, basically. Yeah. But my wife Lauren, she's great. She just takes any kind of like worry of when I'm away. Like I know the kids are always fine. She's she's the reason behind a lot of my success, definitely.
100%, man. Yeah, 100%. Being able to just switch off and concentrate on what the job that needs to be done is so important.
Yeah,
I think having external stresses, which again, like the more successful you get, we all have stresses, right? But I think that kind of where you were at, where you're like working hard 15 years until anything kicks off, like the amount of people don't realize the amount of stress that puts on a human being, like, because it's just constant question of like, when is this going to happen? Is this ever going to happen? And I think it's like, I don't know, like I'd like to get your experience on it, but it's like, I remember for me, it's just like, just non-stop of like, when is that going to fucking happen? And, and when it does, you're grateful, but then it's like, well, now I need to go to the next level.
I'll never be happy, mate. I'll never be happy. I say this to my mates as a joke, like I'll just never be fucking happy. No, of course I would be happy. I'm happy now. I'm happy now. Yeah, it's tough because it was never really like, oh, like when is it going to happen for me? Like I just always if somebody would have turned around to me 3 years ago and said, okay, you're going to be a solid support DJ for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You're going to tour the world and you're going to, things are going to be all right. I would have been like, okay, yeah, I'll take it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But
I would tell them to fuck off.
But again, I think it's just, maybe it's because I spent so many years just trying to get to the point of just being a touring artist, that I would have just kind of just like it had gotten to the point where I would have accepted that was just the way it was going to be. And there were so many times where I thought, like, I need to just fucking stop. Because, like, you know, it was, you're right, it's like the stress of trying to achieve things and like not being able to get things over the line, and like people not believing you in you as well. Like that was the biggest head fuck for me, was like I'd really believe in what I was doing, and then the team or people around me would instantly, this is not the case now, I'm talking about years and years and years ago, the team around me wouldn't believe in things the way that I believed in it. And like that was a real hard thing for me to do, was to kind of combat that, really. And
it's really hard.
Yeah, and make decisions, and big decisions on like when to leave a certain setup, like management or booking agency. And it's hard because these people become your friends.
Of course, it's relationships.
But I've never been one to stay around in a situation if I didn't think it was right for me, because it's everything that I've worked for, you know. And like as much as I'm super thankful for everybody that's been a part of my journey, I've also made business decisions. I think that's one thing I've always been pretty good at. And you know, I think it's a big part of becoming a successful artist, is having a bit of a business mind on you as well, and making decisions based on making business decisions, because like it's a fucking cutthroat industry. And somebody else is just ready to take your fucking place. So like you've got to be so hungry for it, and just be like, and just know what you want. And I understand it's really tough when people like offering you things, and you know, or like people are saying, oh, this is coming, and then, you know, it's tough. But making the right decisions and being really headstrong can get you a long way.
I think it's really hard to explain as an artist the relationship between artists and managers, because I think it's like I've had a few just like you in our time, and it's so weird because like my manager now, Ryan, I've been with him 6 years now, and it's the closest thing I've had to like a really strong friendship as well as a manager at the same time. And we've got the level of where we can both call each other out and still that not affect our friendship as well. And it was kind of it was a big thing for me of like my next manager that I need, that when I was looking for management, was like, I need a real strong relationship with it. Like they need to know my family. They need to know what's going on in my personal life, not just business.
I think that's important, definitely, about the family side of stuff. Like if people can understand what's going on behind the scenes, they get a clearer understanding of your needs as an artist. And to be able to, it goes back to what I was saying before about people kind of like propping things up, you know, it's to make you become the best artist you can be.
Yeah. And I think also the thing is and this is probably going to piss some managers off, but like you leave a management company, they just go get another artist, right? A manager leaves you, you're like, fuck, that was like my team. That was everybody around me, right? So I think it's like that you have to be selfish as an artist. You have to look after yourself. You have to really like you put everything on the line. Like, okay, your management splits are like 80-20, and again, it's going to piss people off, but like you're putting in let's just say you put in 80% of the work. That 20% is very important, but it's like, it's never 50-50. It's never like, as the artist, you will always care about your project more than your team. 100%. I don't care if you have the best manager in the world. It is literally the fact that you will always put more work into your project than anybody else.
Yeah.
And you have to work out what that right team is to give you how much percentage of work is that team going to put into you?
Yeah.
And are they going to be efficient in that percentage of work that they're going to do? Because they can't give you their full time, right?
No.
Unless you're literally the biggest artist in the world and you can generate so much money that it employs 5 people, right? Your team around you, like it's pretty hard to do that, right?
Yeah.
Even if your splits are higher than what industry standard is, like it's pretty hard to do that unless you're like a Tiesto or a Guetta or something like that. So I think like there's always going to be other artists they're working on.
Yeah.
So they can't give you 100% time. We can't expect that at all. So it's interesting actually. I was with Dan Stacey. I went for a steak with him like around the time he was thinking of like working with you guys.
Right.
And it's been really, really nice to see like the levels of your success over the years from working with them.
Yeah.
And kind of how the records have done really well over the years, and kind of nice to see the team, all of you grow in as a team. It's really nice to see.
Yeah. I mean, Dan, like, as I was unmanaged when Still Sleepless came out, and like he just sent me a DM, and we just got chatting from there. And like this was before anything was like popping off, and like, yeah, he's certainly got an ear for it.
He's a radio guy, man. He knows radio records. Like he's the first to admit it. He's like not the best at like live touring, but he knows radio through and through. He knows a good radio record.
Yeah, Dan's and the rest of the team as well. Like I just feel really, really fortunate in the position that I'm in with management, booking agencies, like territorial booking agencies, because I just know over the years it's taken so long to kind of get to this point of everything being sweet, because I've had so many years of it not being sweet with people, and then finally feel like, you know, shit's good. So, and everyone's looking out for me, and that's it. You ultimately managers are there to really protect you as well, and protect you from making bad decisions. And like I said, I've always been pretty good with making decisions, but it's nice to have a team of people that care, you know.
Well, it's just another perspective on things, right? Rather than you just calling the shots all the time. It's like 3 heads is better than 1. And like as artists, we can be very like sporadic and change things on a point, and it's like, no, dude, chill. Like let's assess the situation. They can look at it in like a non-emotional way. We're very emotional people because we're so in it. In it.
I must say as well, my label Armada, like they've been a really kind of big help for me creatively, just because they let me be creative, and they let me make my own decisions with my music and what I want to put out. Obviously there's an A&R process and stuff, but
who's your A&R there?
Ben Malone.
Cool. Ben's
and
legend.
Jason Ellis as well, and
so is Jason.
Yeah, and you know, things. It's just a good harmony, and they allow me to be creatively free and just release the music really that I believe in, because ultimately that's what's got us to this position.
Of course,
I'm in this position right now just because I'm like really believed in the music, and I'm like, we should put this out, you know. So it's nice to be with a label that aren't calling the shots, and that just let me be me, because that's how we're going to get the best out of this situation that we're in right now. It's
so important, man. It's so important. Like, and labels need to hear it more and more, because it's like it's just so important. Like, just to let the artist be the artist, but sign the artist for the artist. Don't sign the artist because that one record is going to pop off and you're going to make a quick buck because the second record's not.
No. Some of the stories I've been hearing about major labels and the money that they're throwing at one record that's popping off on TikTok is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's a business model that is just doomed, and we see it's doomed because everything's fucking failing around it.
Yeah.
You know, like I just feel like the major label industry is really, really suffering at the minute, and it's the people who are working for the labels that are getting fucking fired. Everyone's getting fired from these from the major labels.
The thing is, the major labels are making more money than ever as well.
Yeah,
And I think
it's the whole thing. The whole thing
so
is
fucked.
It's so fucked. And going back to Armada, like they're really invested in me as like as an artist, and like they're helping me grow as an artist. Whereas like major labels just don't do that anymore. You know, unless you're like I don't know, fucking Sabrina Carpenter or something. You know,
I think it depends because I totally agree, but I also disagree. There's some labels have the ability, even majors have the ability to grow artists. But I think we're talking in the dance culture where it's not necessarily always about the artist. It's about that one record that's popping off. And I don't know. I'm sure it's maybe right. Maybe I'm just talking shit. I don't know. I'm trying to be positive about, like, it's so easy to just talk shit, right? For on majors. But it's so true. They just fuck everything.
No, but I've been in it. You know, I'm seeing what's going on around, and I just think it's really unfair what happens to artists as well that they've signed in long-term deals, because they're getting so fucked, and like a lot of the time they will put an end to someone's career.
Yeah.
Because they've trapped them in something that they can never get out of, and creatively, like, you know, they'll be sending them tracks and they'll be rejecting it because the first track that the release was a hit, and like, you know, the second one didn't do too well, so they're like, oh, okay, then we're not going to be spending this amount of money on the next record because we don't think this record's a hit. Who fucking knows who's a hit? Like, what track is going to be a hit? They don't know. Nobody knows anymore.
No one knows.
No one knows. You know,
we know more than them.
Yeah, we do. That is for sure. But like, I'm not having somebody telling me what music I should make and what music I should release. Like, that just doesn't work. You know, like, how are you going to get the best out of an artist? And Armada, just like they've given me the freedom to be able to be me, and I feel like I've dodged a bullet so many times with not signing into something that right now I would be really suffering mentally from it.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. You know, I agree. It's great. I'm happy for you, man. Really happy for you. Closing off this podcast, I've started doing this thing where I'm asking artists for advice on if somebody was new into this world or just new into life, worked out who they are. What would be your like one bit of advice that you'd like to spread to the world?
Don't party too much. Yeah. If you can keep your shit together and find the right balance, and work hard, like you got to be, if being a big artist or just being an artist who's able to release music that streams well, and you're able to tour the way you want to tour, you've got to focus and you've got to work hard. Like, shit doesn't come easy. It really doesn't come easy. So you've got to,
I agree.
Keep your shit together.
I agree, dude. Thanks so much for coming on. Congrats with everything. Really happy.
Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, mate.
And that's a wrap. Big love for D.O.D for coming on. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, give us some reviews, give us some questions in the comments. Till next time, people.